survived a brutal stabbing attack that left a 5-inch knife plunged into
Who
his
stabbed him?
stomach.
Michael Myers?
Despite the harrowing ordeal, the brave teenager has not only survived.
Reapers, what's his good? It's your boy Laser. You guys are into the lives. We're back with some more reaction videos. This is only the reaction content. I continue to deliver that for you guys. In this video, we're reacting to the strangest things found in X-rays. Guys, there's so many strange things that have been found in X-rays. We're about to dive straight into it. If you guys enjoy this scary content or the reaction content, simply just hit that like button. You subscribe. And turn notifications on. It takes less than a second. Let's dive straight into this video.
Here are the 20 strangest things found in an X-ray.
Bro, this is going to be either really cringe or really interesting, or both.
Number 20. Knife lodged in the head.
What the fuck?
Now this sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but it's all too real. Alberto Palacio Vizcaino, a 22-year-old Colombian man, was stabbed in the eye with a massive knife by his sister's boyfriend, Daniel Del Valle Serrano, who fled the scene. The weapon had plunged 3.1 inches into the side of the victim's eye socket and even pierced his brain. This sounds incredibly painful already, and looking at this X-ray makes me physically cringe. But the story of Vizcaino gets worse. Upon arriving at the hospital, he was asked to wait 18 agonizing hours with the knife embedded in his head before a team of doctors could extract it.
Did he suffer brain damage?
Miraculously, the doctors saved Vizcaino's life and even preserved 90% of his sight. Despite the good news, the attacker is still at large, and Vizcaino may need further surgery in the future. Meanwhile, his family has filed a complaint with the authorities. Hopefully, Vizcaino got the justice he deserved, because having a knife lodged in your head is no joke.
Oh my god.
Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now.
I think I picked the wrong video reacting.
Drunk woman swallows a spoon. Now, most of us have either drunk or made some questionable decisions while under the influence. Whether it's a blurry night out with friends, a regrettable text message, or an ill-advised purchase made online, alcohol has a way of making us do things we might not do otherwise. While it's important to be responsible and mindful of our drinking habits, it's also important to remember that we're all human and sometimes make mistakes.
Oh my god, that's
so if you've ever woken up with a hangover and a sense of regret, just know that you're not alone.
That's not
alcohol. Take a look at this woman, for example. Doctors in China were incredibly baffled by this woman's drunken mistake. The lady apparently got so drunk that she somehow thought it was a good idea to swallow a 6-inch spoon. That's not even the most surprising part. Somehow, she forgot about it the next day and didn't visit the doctor for a checkup until several weeks later when she began experiencing stomach pain. Imagine how surprised the doctors were upon seeing the spoon lodged in her abdomen. Removing the spoon was incredibly tricky, and trust me, it sounds painful. The doctors inserted a snare loop to grab a hold of the spoon and carefully maneuvered the object back out of the lady's mouth. Fortunately, the spoon didn't get lodged inside the woman's body during the operation. Despite this strange scenario, doctors claimed the woman should still consider herself lucky. She visited the doctors just in time before ulcers or a life-threatening condition began.
Oh my
god.
The
next time you experience stomach pain, it wouldn't hurt to visit the doctor immediately, especially if you were blackout drunk the night before.
This is hard to
Number
watch.
18. Woman deliberately swallows spatula. Let's be honest. We've all had our fair share of kitchen failures at some point in our lives. Whether it's burning a dish to a crisp, undercooking chicken, or accidentally adding too much salt, mistakes happen in the kitchen. But that's part of the learning process and what makes cooking such a fun and rewarding experience.
How do you even swallow a spatula?
This woman's kitchen fail, however, is probably the most unforgettable one. I mean, one attempt at cooking a great meal ended up with an entire spatula lodged in her throat. Imagine being so desperate to clear your throat that you end up sticking a 30-centimeter kitchen spatula down your throat.
What the fuck, bro?
That was the case for 𝐭𝐻 𝐸,
she just
a 31-year-old Chinese woman who nearly died from her own cooking utensil. According to 𝐭𝐻, she was cooking a new recipe with exotic herbs and spices when she suddenly started to feel her throat swelling up due to an allergic reaction. She tried to clear her throat with her fingers, then 3 chopsticks, but all failed. She then decided to use something larger, and that's when she grabbed the 12-inch spatula. Unfortunately, things went from bad to worse as the spatula became wedged in her throat so tightly that she couldn't get it out. Her 4-year-old daughter had to take her downstairs for help as she struggled to breathe. Once at the hospital, Doctors were shocked to see the kitchen spatula lodged in her throat.
Oh my
They
god.
initially thought they were dealing with a patient with mental health problems. Guan was immediately admitted for emergency surgery, where doctors managed to extract the spatula. However, due to the extent of the damage, they had to cut away 8 inches of her esophagus, which could not be repaired. In order to create a new connection between her esophagus and stomach, doctors had to stretch her stomach lining. The whole ordeal was a once in 50 years, if not 100 years case, according to Xiaopu, a thoracic surgeon at the hospital. While it's easy to laugh at this bizarre and almost unbelievable incident, let's remember that accidents happen, and it's essential to seek professional help in situations like these. We've all experienced kitchen mishaps.
If your throat is
burning the
itchy,
throat
don't
or
put a fucking
over-seasoning a dish.
spatula down it.
Guan's story is a reminder that we need to be careful with what we put in our mouths.
Yeah, no shit.
Number 17. Man sticking with a scissor.
What the fuck?
Imagine walking into an emergency room with a pair of scissors sticking out of your head and politely asking for help.
Why?
That's precisely what happened to Jonas Acevedo Monroy, a 32-year-old man from Chihuahua, Mexico.
He's 32.
Dubbed
he did
the
this shit?
gentleman for his good manners, Monroe had been in a local bar when a jealous rival approached him and stabbed him in the head with the scissors.
That's crazy.
The hospital staff was shocked to see Monroe walk in with scissors lodged in his head.
That's crazy.
When he collapsed, they quickly rushed him to the emergency room. Monroe had been stabbed in the upper left side of his skull, with the scissors penetrating his parietal brain lobe.
Oh my
the
god!
parietal lobes are responsible for sensations, perception, processing sensory information into a visual image, and spatial coordination. Damage to these lobes can lead to abnormalities in body image, spatial relations, and language disorders.
God.
Monroe's injury is serious, and he's lucky to be alive.
Did he
Number
have brain
16.
damage though?
Nail in the head. It's not always that a toothache turns out to be something different. Picture this. A 23-year-old construction worker is sitting on the edge of his chair, nervously chewing on his fingernails in the waiting room of a dentist office. It's a feeling many of us can relate to. That mixture of dread and anticipation that comes with a visit to the dentist. But for Patrick Lawler, his fears were compounded by the fact that he lacked medical insurance. He knew that even a routine visit to the dentist could leave him with a hefty bill. When Lawler's turn finally came, the dentist took an x-ray and then returned with some startling news. There was a nail in Lawler's head.
It's like right in the middle of
was
his head.
dumbfounded. How could he have a nail in his head and not even know it?
Oh, that's like a different
Then
picture.
he remembered a day at work when he had been using a nail gun. The gun had backfired and shot a nail into a nearby piece of wood.
God.
But Lawler had failed to notice that a second nail had actually punched into his upper mouth.
Fuck
Lawler was rushed to the hospital where he underwent a 4-hour surgery to remove the nail. Astonishingly, the nail was a whopping 4 inches long, with 1.5 inches piercing his brain. By some miracle, the nail caused no damage to Lawler's mental faculties.
What the
His
fuck?
surgeon even joked that if you're going to have a nail in your brain, that's the way you'd want it to be.
Imagine sleeping on the nail, bro.
As disastrous as it sounds,
Just pushes through your
Lawler
brain.
was still exceptionally lucky. Number 15.
Oh my god.
Woman swallows her own engagement rings.
That divorce came
Marriage
early.
proposals can be one of the most nerve-wracking experiences in a person's life. From planning the perfect setting to gathering the courage to ask the big question, the pressure can be intense.
That divorce came
and
early.
sometimes accidents and epic failures are bound to happen. Getting engaged is a significant moment in someone's life, and many people go to great lengths to make it memorable. One man, Harris, decided to put the engagement ring in his girlfriend Caitlin Whipple's Wendy's Frosty Milkshake. However, things didn't go exactly as planned.
What the fuck were you
Caitlin ate
expecting?
the entire shake and never found the ring. The couple had attended an LDS Institute class with friends, and they were all in on the proposal plans. However, the other women in the group wanted to speed up the process and challenged Caitlin to a race to find the ring. Caitlin, being competitive, quickly devoured the shake without noticing the ring inside. Harris was shocked when he checked everyone's cups and didn't find the ring. In the video that their friends captured, he can be seen hugging Caitlin and whispering in her ear that she had eaten her engagement ring.
I would have cried.
Caitlin couldn't believe it, thinking that Harrison was joking. She kept waiting for him to propose, but it wasn't until they went to the hospital for x-rays that she finally accepted the truth. With the x-ray of the ring in hand, Harris proposed, and a friend captured the moment in a picture that showed Caitlin holding the x-ray of her ring with a big smile on her face. Although the proposal didn't go as planned, Caitlyn eventually got her ring and was overjoyed.
I have never cringed
She
this
even
hard.
posted about the ordeal on her blog, Crazy Caitlyn, along with pictures and videos. The couple had a good laugh about it and realized that things don't always go according to plan, especially when it comes to something as nerve-wracking as a marriage proposal. Despite the mishap, Harris and Caitlyn got engaged and eventually married to each other. Number 14.
Oh,
Surgeon Souvenir.
what the fuck?
There's always room for error, but as much as possible, you shouldn't leave any room for any. Primarily if your job consists of caring for patients and ensuring people remain healthy and live for a long time. In 2004, a woman named Pat Skinner underwent a major operation to remove part of her colon at St. George Hospital.
Pat Skinner.
However, months of excruciating pain passed before an X-ray revealed the cause. A pair of 17-centimeter surgical scissors had been left inside her abdomen during the operation.
That's crazy.
The scissors had been in there for a shocking 18 months. Fast forward 3 years later, and Mrs. Skinner's husband, Don, is being treated for cancer at the same hospital.
Cancer too?
Although the couple trust the cancer unit, Mrs. Skinner plans to take legal action against the hospital for the mistake made during her operation. While St. George Hospital's chief executive, David Pierce, apologized for the incident, no disciplinary action was taken against the surgeon or the 4 other staff in the operating theater following an internal
That's a whole
inquiry.
lawsuit right there.
The incident was reported to the Healthcare Complaints Commission, but it was put down to human error. After her ordeal, Mrs. Skinner recognizes that the hospital has changed its surgery guidelines, requiring staff to complete a full inventory of all items in the operating room. Hopefully, the experience has turned out to be a learning experience for the surgeon. I wouldn't really want to lose another valuable operating tool inside the body of another patient.
Tell me about it,
Number
bro.
13.
Just tell me about it.
Fishing day gone wrong. Fishing is a popular pastime for many people worldwide, offering a chance to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and spend time in nature. Whether it's a peaceful day spent on a calm lake or an adrenaline-fueled deep-sea fishing expedition, fishing can be a fun and relaxing experience. However, accidents can happen,
So you fish
and
a
it's
shark?
important to take necessary precautions and be prepared for unexpected situations. From hooks
Alligators.
getting caught in the skin to falling off a boat, it's essential to stay aware of potential dangers and always have a first aid kit on hand. But perhaps this is the craziest fishing incident I've heard of yet. In 2012, Yasser Lopez, a 16-year-old from Florida, experienced a terrifying accident while on a fishing trip with his friend. Lopez was accidentally hit by a spear gun,
What?
which entered his brain through his right eye and came out the back of his
How's
head.
that even happen?
Fortunately, he's now out of bed and speaking after undergoing a 3-hour operation at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami. The teenager was awoke upon arrival at the hospital, but became agitated. Medical personnel had to sedate him before cutting part of the stainless steel spear with a mechanical cutter so he could fit into the CT scanner. Although Lopez has no memory of the freak accident, medics are unsure of the extent of the damage to his memory and other parts of the brain. But they are grateful that his condition could have been much worse. Doctors also noted that the spear went into Lopez's non-dominant lobe,
Oh my
which helped to
god.
avoid the parts of the brain responsible for speech and other vital functions. It's a reminder that fishing trips can be fun and relaxing, but it's important to be cautious and mindful of safety measures to avoid accidents. Number 12.
Ooh.
Python swallows queen-sized electric blanket.
A blanket?
Imagine a hungry Burmese python swallowing an entire queen-sized electric blanket, complete with the electrical cord and control box. That's precisely what happened to Houdini, a 12-foot-long python owned by a gentleman named Carl Beznoska. The strange incident occurred in 2006. According to Beznoska, the blanket must have gotten tangled with the snake's rabbit dinner, and he had kept the blanket in the cage for warmth. Fortunately, the prognosis was great for Houdini after undergoing a 2-hour operation to remove the blanket. Veterinarian Karsten Fostvedt at St. Francis Pet Clinic in Ketchum, who had never operated on a snake before, said that the snake would have died without the surgery, as the blanket and wiring had extended about 8 feet through the python's digestive tract. The surgery required an 18-inch incision, and thanks to the incredibly skilled doctors, the python survived the operation. This incident might be strange, but pythons swallowing extremely huge things and prey isn't really news. Pythons are known for their incredible agility to swallow prey that's much larger
They be
than
swallowing
themselves.
like dogs and shit,
In
bro.
fact, some species of pythons are capable of swallowing entire animals,
Yeah.
such as pigs, deer, and even crocodiles.
They can swallow.
They have an expandable jaw and flexible skin that allows them to consume their prey whole, and their digestive system can break down and process even the most enormous meals.
Crazy.
While this may seem impressive, it's important to remember that these animals are wild and dangerous predators, and it's best to admire them from a safe distance. Number 11. Puppy swallows 8-inch kitchen knife.
A knife? Oh my god.
Dogs are often described as man's best friend and are known for
Bro,
their playful
what
and
the
curious
hell?
nature. They're highly social animals that love to play and explore their surroundings. Whether it's playing
knife?
with toys, running around in the backyard, or going for a walk, dogs love to engage in activities that stimulate their mind and bodies. They are naturally inquisitive and will investigate anything that catches their attention. Puppies in particular are known for their boundless curiosity, and they will often put anything they find in their mouths.
Poor puppy.
This playful and curious nature is one of the many reasons why dogs make such great companions and are beloved by millions of people around the world.
Puppy.
Imagine swallowing an 8-inch kitchen knife. Sounds pretty terrifying,
Poor dog,
right?
man.
Well, that's precisely what happened to a 12-week-old Staffordshire Bull Terrier named Macy in 2017.
Oh my god.
Despite the odds, Macy miraculously survived the ordeal,
God.
and veterinary professionals called her extremely lucky. Owner Irene Paisley initially thought Macy had swallowed part of a toy when she heard the dog squeaking, making strange noises. But after taking her to the emergency room, the x-rays revealed the actual obstruction. The knife had passed through Macy to the point where the handle had entered her intestines.
Oh my.
Paisley said she was terrified as she had recently lost her previous dog to cancer. After the veterinarians removed the knife safely, Macy quickly returned to her playful self. Macy's story serves as a cautionary tale to dog owners everywhere. It's essential to keep your home safe and secure for your furry friends. Ensure potentially dangerous items like knives are kept out of reach. And if you suspect your pet has swallowed something they shouldn't have, seek
God.
veterinary attention immediately.
I've never cringed
After
so
all,
hard in a video.
It's better to be safe than sorry. Number 10. Electric light bulb from the rectum.
The rectum?
Now, we've all had our fair share of embarrassing stories.
Lighting that
But
shit
some
up.
experiences are downright humiliating
Sparking
to
it.
share and laugh about lightly. A recent medical case has been causing quite a stir among medical professionals.
Glow
A
City.
54-year-old man arrived at the hospital in significant discomfort and was hesitant to reveal the
Oh
cause
shit,
of
it
his
was in your
problem.
rectum.
After some prodding, he admitted that he had inserted a 100-watt electric bulb into his rectum 2 days prior.
Why though?
Apparently, he had made a $100 bet while he was heavily intoxicated and used shaving cream as a lubricant to insert the bulb.
Dumbass.
But the next day, he couldn't get it out.
No shit.
After 2 days of agony, he decided to seek medical help.
Oh.
The doctors performed an X-ray examination and discovered the bulb, which had become lodged in his rectum. They tried manually removing it, but were unsuccessful due to the bulb's maximum diameter.
Oh my
The
god.
doctors had to use suction cups attached to the bulb with cyanoacrylate cement, but even after 4 attempts, they were unsuccessful.
This made me
Finally,
sick.
they tried using catheters with terminal balloons to grip the bulb over its maximum diameter, and after 10 minutes of steady pulling, the bulb was removed without any complications. Had the retrieval failed, the man would have needed to have his entire abdomen opened and his colon cut to get the foreign object out. This bizarre case is a reminder of the dangers of inserting foreign objects into one's rectum.
Why though?
Although it may seem amusing or intriguing, it can lead to severe injuries and complications.
Why?
Number 9. Puppy swallowing a spoon.
Oh.
Now, here's another mischievous pup, or an unfortunate event. This is a story of a 7-month-old Labrador Retriever puppy named Gypsy who got a little too excited about tea time. The adorable pooch was so overjoyed when her owner, Diane Harmon, made a cup of tea that she ended up swallowing a spoon. Yes, you heard that right, a whole spoon. Luckily for Gypsy, her owner noticed the missing spoon and took her to the vet for an X-ray, which revealed the unexpected culprit inside the pup's tummy. It was clear that the spoon had to be removed right away, as it could have proved fatal if left inside.
Poor puppy.
Gypsy underwent emergency surgery to remove the spoon, and thankfully the procedure was a success. Diane was relieved, but admitted that she was concerned at the time, as any surgery carries risks. Nevertheless, she can laugh about it now, and Gypsy is back to her happy and playful self. A lesson to be learned. Always keep an eye on your furry friends, especially during meal times. Number 8.
Poor puppy.
A soldier with nerves of steel. Kidney stones are like tiny rocks that form inside your kidneys.
They explode.
They're made up of different substances that
Make your
come
thing
together and
explode.
harden over time. Some kidney stones are as small as a grain of sand, while others can grow as large as a golf ball. People
Damn.
often describe the pain of passing a kidney stone as one of the most intense they've ever felt.
Damn.
Now, this giant bladder stone is quite something. A man aged 53 went to the emergency room because he was having trouble urinating and was seeing blood in his urine sometimes.
Damn.
He had had a surgery called open ureterolithotomy 15 years ago, where doctors tried to remove a stone from his right ureter, but they couldn't remove everything, and a small piece was left behind. He never did anything about it. Later on, he visited the hospital, and an x-ray showed that he had a stone in his bladder that was almost 4 inches big. Now that might sound small, but something this big shouldn't be in our bodies in the first place. Just take a look at this horrifying x-ray. This is the reason why you should never forget to drink water, folks. Number 7.
No shit.
8-year-old swallows magnets.
Oh, magnets out of
This
everything?
is the reason why
What's
toys
8-year-old?
and other small objects contain a warning on their packaging. In 2008, the parents of an 8-year-old girl in Indiana got the scare of their lifetimes when their child accidentally swallowed steel balls from a toy she was playing with. Haley Lentz thought they looked like candy, and before she knew it, she had swallowed the parts from her magnetics toy. Her father, Jason, was shocked that she consumed them,
There's
saying
no
that they
tag?
taught her not to do things like that.
No label that
and
said, "Do not
she's a
swallow
good student
this"?
who gets A's and B's. But accidents happen, and unfortunately, Haley ended up with 8 gunshot or stab-like holes in her
8?
intestines. Thankfully, doctors saved Haley's life with emergency surgery, but she had to spend 2 weeks in the hospital. Her dad said they were in the same room when she swallowed the parts, and they didn't even realize it until 2 days later when she started experiencing severe pain. The company that makes the magnetics toy, Mega Brands, released a statement saying they were saddened by the incident and that it was a highly unusual and isolated situation. They also mentioned that they have a completely redesigned magnetic set coming out next month that contains no magnetic parts that can be swallowed. Haley wants other kids to know that they shouldn't eat toy parts, and her dad is trying to get the word out about the dangers of these high-intensity magnets. He says that it only takes 2 magnets to kill someone, and they're so easy to swallow. Let's all be careful with our toys and make sure to keep small parts away from little ones.
Oh my
Number
god,
6.
bro.
Child swallows bullet.
Oh, a bullet?
Back in 2019, a 3-year-old boy named Hunter Wood surprised his parents by admitting that he had swallowed a bullet.
He's about that
The
life.
little guy was just hanging out on the couch next to his dad, Tim, when he suddenly confessed, "Oh, Dad, I swallowed a bullet." Tim was understandably freaked out, especially since Hunter had the bullet in his mouth before washing it down with a drink.
Do they have a gun in
Tim
them?
runs an Army experience business on the Gold Coast,
Ah, makes sense.
where they offer rides on Vietnam War-era Army vehicles and have a skill testing machine on site.
That's dope as
This
shit.
machine dispenses replica bullets on keychains, which is likely how Hunter got his hands on the bullet in the first place. According to Tim, the keyring on the bullet broke, causing it to fall to the ground, and Hunter snatched it up before anyone could stop him.
That's a good
Hunter
story.
was quickly rushed to the emergency room, where an x-ray showed the bullet lodged in his colon.
Oh.
Luckily, the bullet was facing in a direction that allowed it to exit the body without causing any serious damage,
That's good.
meaning he was able to avoid surgery. While his parents were undoubtedly relieved, Hunter's mom had the unenviable task of searching for the bullet to ensure it had passed through her son's system.
Miracles.
Number 5.
Miracles, man.
Fork and cockroach fiasco.
Cockroach.
Seeing a woman with a fork lodged in her throat is already an incredibly bizarre scenario, but the story behind this unusual case is much more enjoyable. This is an experience so strange that it almost sounds too unreal. As the woman was cleaning her house in a village in northern Israel, a winged cockroach made a beeline straight for her mouth. In an effort to remove the creepy crawly from her throat, the 32-year-old woman used a fork, but things didn't go as planned. She ended up swallowing the fork, too. After realizing the gravity of the situation, the woman was rushed to the hospital, where an x-ray showed the fork was lodged sideways in her stomach.
Damn.
Dr. Nicola
Fuck.
a surgeon at the hospital in Tiberias on the Sea of Galilee, performed laparoscopic surgery, which is a minimally invasive procedure performed through a tiny incision in the patient's abdomen.
Fuck
With
no.
utmost care and precision, The doctor safely removed the fork from the woman's body. Unfortunately for her, the cockroach was already ingested by her body. Yikes! Number 4.
Fuck no.
Tapeworm-infested body.
Tapeworms?
Sushi and sashimi are like the rock stars of Japanese cuisine. These delicacies are prepared with raw seafood like tuna, salmon, and squid, which may sound intimidating to some. Now, this sounds like a health hazard, but it's perfectly safe. In fact, these dishes have been staples in Japanese cuisine for centuries. However, there are times when these dishes can cause sickness, especially if they're not prepared and handled properly.
Dude, tapeworms?
Have you ever heard of the phrase, too much of a good thing? Well, that definitely applies to this Chinese man who had a love affair with sashimi.
Salmon, dude? Like,
Unfortunately, his obsession with raw fish almost cost him his life after he became riddled with tapeworms.
dude, fuck
It
no.
all started when he began to experience stomach pains and an itchy sensation on his skin,
Imagine just wiping your
which led
ass
him to seek medical
and you just
attention.
see a tapeworm coming out of your
The
ass.
doctor diagnosed him with cysticercosis, a condition that occurs when tapeworms enter the bloodstream.
Wiping your
If
ass.
left
Hey, little
untreated,
buddy.
it can be fatal if the tapeworms reach the brain. Yikes! The doctors believe the culprit was the uncooked Japanese delicacy the man had indulged in. But wait, there's more. Did you know that eating raw or uncooked fish can lead to a variety of parasitic infections? That's
Bro.
right. Tapeworm infections can occur after ingesting the larvae of Diphyllobothrium,
Worst
which
fear.
are found in freshwater fish such as salmon.
Worst fear while
Even
eating sushi.
marinated and smoked fish can transmit the worm.
That's why I stay away
So
from
the next
salmon.
time you're craving sashimi or sushi, make sure it's prepared by skilled chefs
Well,
who
stay away
know
from
how to
salmon.
handle raw
Stay
fish
away from
properly
salmon.
to avoid any unwanted guests in your body.
Stay away from salmon.
Number 3. Man's skull embedded with nails.
Like tuna? That's
It's
good.
a scary world out there, folks. The case of 27-year-old Chen Liu is one of the few that I will never forget. In 2009, police in Sydney, Australia released an X-ray showing how 27-year-old Chen Liu was shot 34 times in the head and neck with
34?
a nail gun. Mr. Liu, who also went by the name Anthony Liu, was found dead in the marshland surrounding the Georges River in Sydney's south.
Oh, so he didn't
His
survive.
body was found by 2 children on a canoeing trip who informed their parents.
Oh, those poor
According
kids.
to Detective Inspector Mark Newham of the Homicide Squad, Mr. Liu had been dead for 12 days before he was discovered.
He probably
The Homicide Squad had been investigating the case, forming Strike Force Renfrey, but so far, no arrests have been made. Police are now appealing to the public for information about the murder weapon or the victim's car. The head of the Homicide Squad, Jeff Beresford, described the murder as particularly brutal and vicious. He stated that in his 36 years of investigation, he had never encountered a murder of this nature using a nail gun. The murder shocked the local community, and people are still urged to come forward with any information they may have. It's important to remember that justice must be served, and anyone with information about the crime is encouraged to speak up. Such brutal murders can be unsettling, but it's reassuring to know that the police are working hard to solve this case. This highlights the importance of community involvement in reporting any suspicious activity or information that may help with investigations. Let us hope that the police are able to solve this case and bring those responsible to justice, and that Mr. Liu's family and loved ones may find some peace and closure. Number 2.
Oh.
Knife wedged in the head.
Another knife?
In 2008, a 15-year-old boy from London survived a brutal stabbing attack that left a 5-inch knife plunged into
Who
his
stabbed him?
skull.
Michael Myers?
Despite the harrowing ordeal, the brave teenager has not only survived, but has even managed to enroll in college. The incident took place when the boy, along with 2 other youngsters, attempted to stop their friend from being robbed at a bus stop in Walworth, South
Oh,
London.
shit.
The muggers responded by brutally stabbing one of the boys in the forehead,
Oh, no.
another twice in the back, and a third in the shoulder. The boy's survival is nothing short of miraculous. He was rushed to the hospital with the knife still embedded in his skull, but doctors were able to perform surgery in time to
Angels
save
were
his
watching
life.
them, bro.
X-rays released by the police show how deep the knife had penetrated, stopping just short of his brain. The surgeons who operated on him stated that if anyone had tried to remove the blade, he would have died on the spot.
Damn.
Now, people need to know that if you've been stabbed with a knife, do not attempt to remove it yourself. This might seem counterintuitive, but it could save your life.
That actually makes
Removing
sense.
the knife can cause further damage to your internal organs and increase blood loss, which could be fatal. It's better to leave the knife in place and seek immediate medical attention. Remember, if you're stabbed, keep calm, call for help, and wait for trained professionals to remove the
I
knife.
would be in terror, bro.
I just hope you won't ever need to use this knowledge. Now, back to the boy's case. Thankfully, the boy's two friends, who were also attacked by the muggers, recovered from their injuries. One of the attackers was arrested later at his home after he dropped his hat and mobile phone at the scene.
I just feel
The
sick right
culprit
now,
was
guys.
found
Like
guilty
dead
and
ass.
was charged with attempted murder and 2 counts of grievous bodily harm with intent. Number 1.
Alright, number 1.
A nose ring.
Oof.
In a bizarre discovery, a man in the United States found a lost nose ring in his lung 5 years after he assumed he had lost it. The piercing enthusiast, Joey Likens, had believed that the nose ring had fallen out while he was asleep, but was completely unaware that it had been lodged inside his lung all these years. According to reports, he went through his entire home looking for the ring when he first noticed it was missing, flipping mattresses, looking under couches, and checking the backyard. Finally, he gave up searching for the ring and replaced it with a new one. The nose ring's rediscovery was not without pain. Mr. Likens woke up coughing one night and was subsequently taken to a hospital, where doctors initially suspected pneumonia. However, an X-ray revealed that the 0.6-inch nose ring was embedded in the upper left lobe of his lung. The doctor held up the X-ray and said, "Look familiar?" I was like,
I'm
"You
sick,
gotta be
guys."
kidding me," Likens recounted. This shocking discovery left doctors puzzled. They surgically removed the ring pretty easily, but they insisted that Likens was extremely lucky it did not puncture his lung. Of course, Likens kept the nose ring, X-rays, and surgery pictures as souvenirs.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. As you can tell, this was probably the hardest video I've ever reacted to, so please like this video if you guys haven't. If you guys enjoy the reactions, you want more videos like this in the future, you guys don't know what to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!